What's going on, everybody? So today I have a very different kind of video for you guys. I normally don't do separate videos for much movie news unless it's something big, and this one that we are talking about today completely shocked me and saddens me. So DreadCentral.com is reporting that The Collector 3, aka The Collected, has been abandoned. What? Why? So, let's take a look at some sources and try to break this thing down and figure out what is going on with this and attempt to clear as much up as possible as I possibly can, because I know a lot of people, even myself, are a little bit confused on what's going on here. I came across this article after we were finished with our latest episode of Creeping in Real. I had opened up Facebook and started scrolling and seen this article from DreadCentral.com. I was shocked, so I opened it up to read the article, so let's break down what they are reporting. First off, I want to start off by saying that I am a big fan of the work that the creative team of Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan does, and I'm a big fan of the first two Collector movies in general. The first one I started hearing about around the release of Saw 6, in which Marcus and Patrick have also worked on, as the writers. And due to its limited run in theaters, I didn't have a chance to see the first Collector movie theatrically. But I got my chance to see it when it hit home video, and it completely took me by surprise. I love the first Collector movie. But then a couple years later, when the sequel, The Collection, was getting ready to release in 2012, I was super pumped to see what they were going to do next. I was able to see this one in theaters, and I have a great time with this movie as well. Needless to say, I had to see where it goes after that cliffhanger. Now, news and updates on the third installment was quiet for some time due to The Collection not performing as well as some would have hoped for. But then, eventually, it was officially announced that they would be moving forward with the third movie. So what went wrong? Why did this catch so many people off guard? I'm going to open this up with the fact that I've been interacting a bit with Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton here and there for the past 10 plus years now, even before The Collection was released. And the last time I had interacted with Marcus was back in October of 2020. And I just simply checked up on him and I said, "Hey Marcus, how are things? Blah blah blah." And then I asked, "Is there any new updates on The Collect that you can talk about?" And then Marcus responded with, "We have a teaser that we would love to share, but the powers that be just don't agree with us. I understand. It will be better when we can reveal a release date versus stirring folks up with, we still have to film the rest. We can't do so until everyone wears a mask and kills COVID." Like I said, that was back in October of 2020. That seems pretty normal, right? Now let's take a look at the article that was published on April 5th, 2021 from DeadCentral.com. So the headline reads, "New The Collector movie, The Collected, has been abandoned. Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton revealed The Collector 3, aka The Collected, has been abandoned after shooting 8 days 2 years ago." What? This confused me so much when I read this, so let's scroll down and see what the article says. Okay, so it says Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton have just revealed The Collector 3, aka The Collected, has been abandoned. Dunstan explains they only shot for 8 days before COVID-19 shut production down, and now the producer has stopped answering their phone calls. The film hasn't even shot new footage in 2 years. Wait a minute. This is where I'm starting to get confused. So the Dread Central article basically sums up what was said about The Collected, but basically stating that the film was shot in 8 days and was shut down due to COVID-19. Okay, that happens. That's normal. And even going back to what Marcus was talking about back in October, it sounds pretty normal to me, right? That shit happens. As you can see, all of this has stemmed because of an interview that Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan did on the podcast The Thing with Two Heads with Sean Clark and Christopher Nelson. Which, side note, if you are not watching or listening to The Thing with Two Heads, definitely check it out. You can find it on the YouTube channel Malfunction, which is spelled S-E-A-N. They do great work over there, and they always have awesome guests joining them. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to right now. Let's just kind of take a look at this clip from the interview that they did on The Thing with Two Heads and see what Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton have to say about this and what they can elaborate on.
So what can you guys publicly share with what's going on with the third film?
Well, we shot for 8 days and then it was shut down. And you know, I invested in this thing. I'd like to know what's happening. We stopped hearing from anybody with production. I know all my most of the props I brought there have been stolen. And I would think, like, anybody else who invested in this movie that thinks it's happening, wouldn't they like to know what's happening? Because I would.
I mean, we stopped shooting in 2019. That was 2 years ago, and we only shot 8 days, so we've very little really shot. Anything that's been released has been from that time period.
Yeah.
And there's no plans to start shooting it. I mean, we haven't talked to anyone who was in the production for
All
months.
calls and emails have gone
Yeah,
unanswered.
so I don't know.
And
And
that's
we'd love to finish it, but like,
sure.
I don't know. We're not the producers, so we don't know.
So
I'll tell you,
basically, it's in the producer's corner at this moment, and they've kind
Yeah,
of gone dark.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely dark. So and that's, gosh, like, come on. You would think that if you shot for 8 days, you'd kind of want to finish it. But when you hear nothing for so long, like,
Yeah.
doggone. So
Yeah,
speaking of Halloween 3, it's like, I was finally working with Tom Atkins, and he was bringing it.
hmm
Finish a Tom Atkins role. I want my friend Josh, who's been there since the beginning. I want Emma Fitzpatrick, who's been there since the beginning. And this collector, and like the new actors that have come in, and Navi Rawat from Feast.
yeah,
Everybody showed up to bring it. And our first week of shooting was all finale. So like, we know the intensity we were capturing. Is there a trailer or teaser? Yeah, there's a teaser. It's been done for a long time. But it needs color timing, music rights, and some VFX. And you can't get anyone on the phone and you don't hear anything. So
Yeah.
it's, at this point, I'd say I'm really pissed off.
yeah. And the problem is too, it was 2 years ago, so people look different. Like people change. Like remember we talked about how suddenly one day you're gonna look old. It's like hairstyle change, just the face. Like suddenly, oh, I went on the so and so diet. Like you lost 20 pounds and now your face looks totally different. Like there's consistency problems. So I don't know. I think it's in a real tough spot.
Yeah. And again, if anybody truly responsible just sends an email, makes a phone call, okay.
Yeah.
Even if you had to say, we absolutely have to wait until the pandemic is over, well, that makes sense. Then say that. But when you hear nothing, we're capable of imagining. It's what we do for a living. And then you just start to count the facts and the actions, like, this one may not go our way.
Yeah. Well, that's nonsense too, because things are shooting. Things have been shooting everywhere for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you can figure it out. I mean, like for example, I just watched the first episode of the new Mighty Ducks TV show on Disney Plus, and that was like got shut down
Uh-huh.
right in the middle, and then they finished it, and now it's on. Like it's not that of course they have money and resources, but like So
Now,
I don't know.
If these people, these producers, basically never rear their ugly heads again, does that mean that this is now tied up forever? Because of, or can you move on without them?
No,
It's just
it's only one producer
outside of our legality at this point, because that gets into rights.
He
I mean, you couldn't start over with someone else, or you?
No. He licensed the rights from Mickey Liddell, his company, and so he holds them.
Is there a time limit on that?
No.
No, not that we know of.
No, it's a pretty strong contract.
So, straight from the mouths of the creators, they were ghosted. Nobody has returned their emails or phone calls or giving any sort of update. But before you guys in the comments decide to write hate mail to the producers of the studio, let's hear what else they have to say.
It's not that he doesn't want. I mean, the guy seems like a nice guy when you talk to him, but I think he's in a tough spot financially. He just can't finish it. So it's not that he doesn't. I don't think he doesn't want to. He just can't. Like he's he's doing other movies and probably this over here and that over there. So it's impossible for us to really speculate what's going on in his head. But it just it's not getting done, and we haven't talked to him in months. And so it's like if you to start shooting, we essentially have to start over.
Yeah. And
so that's hard. I mean, we have no stages, no sets, no nothing, no actors, no one hired. So you literally have to start over. Yeah. I mean, we have this footage, and we have this teaser that if we put out, people would lose their mind. It's great, and it's taken from the 8 days we shot, and it's really cool. But then you're gonna try to match it with that, and blah blah blah, and people look different. So it's really hard. It's a really shitty position.
Yeah, and it was all avoidable, completely avoidable. That's what drives me nuts. Like I didn't invest 10 years getting this opportunity, facilitating it, getting it together, pre-writing 3 different versions of this thing just to be ignored wasn't my goal. And I'm assuming people who invested capital in this thing are probably wondering like, hey, where's our movie?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we got to wait till Thor's honesty hammer comes down and smacks them right. And then maybe we'll be back.
Yeah.
So from what I can tell, just judging by that clip, is that the one producer holding up the film seems like a nice guy. But it sounds to me, and I have no involvement in the film, this is just an outsider perspective, and just judging on the clip that we just watched, but it sounds to me like they have moved forward with other projects, and they might be having a little bit of financial trouble, so it seems like The Collected has been pushed to the back burner. It's currently trapped in a box right now. Just like in the movie. And as it was stated in that clip, there is a teaser that uses footage from those 8 days of shooting, with a little bit of post-production work to be left done on it. But it seems like Marcus and Patrick have the mindset that they don't want to release it and get people excited for something that may or may not happen right now. And that's completely understandable, and I totally respect that. Okay, so that little segment's kind of cleared up, but things are still a little bit confusing for some people. And let's take a look at some of this stuff. So this is the point where things start getting really confusing. Let's take a look at this article from Bloody Disgusting from June 22nd of 2020, where they released the first couple images from the movie. And those pictures got me very excited to see the movie. I started speculating, of course, like I always do, and trying to figure out, oh, what's going on here, and all that good stuff. And at that time, it looked like everything was right on track. You're probably thinking, but wait! Didn't they just recently release a new batch of pictures from the movie? Yes, they did. Now let's take a look at another Bloody Disgusting article that was published on February 25th, 2021. So not too long ago. Pretty recently. Now if we scroll down to look at those photos on the Bloody Disgusting page, you'll notice this page currently says, "The images removed at the request of the producers." This is 100% damage control right now. My guess is that they saw the podcast and went to Bloody Disgusting and asked them to take the photos down. Why release them if it's not happening? Why release them if you have no interest in picking the film back up anytime soon? Why release them in the first place? This doesn't make any sense. But don't worry, if you still haven't seen the photos that they released, I got you covered. Let's take a look at some of them right now. Okay, so this first one here, you can see the Collector in a police uniform at the police station. There's a dead body in front of his feet. Looks like he's attacking another officer. Yeah, it's just a nice little shot. And then this shot here, I love the pose that the Collector is in right now. Looks like his mask got a little bit of an upgrade as well. And then, of course, we got 2 people who are being, looks like they're held in a contraption or being held hostage of some sort. Yeah, lots to speculate about. And then you got the Charlie Day board back there, which is pretty cool. Now this picture here we have seen before in the Bloody Disgusting articles. It's a nice little shot of Elena. I like Elena's hair that she's got going on her. Of course, the blood on her face. Not sure exactly what she's doing or what Elena is going to be up to in this movie, but that's a pretty cool shot. And then, of course, you got a nice shot of my personal favorite final guy, Arkin O'Brien, played by Josh Stewart, who looks like he's in handcuffs at the police station, and it looks like the Collector has gone to the police station to finish the job. And it's just a nice little behind-the-scene photo here where we see Josh Stewart again. You see the Charlie Day whiteboard with all the pictures and the clues and all that stuff. Nice couple shots of the cameras there. Yeah. And then you got this nice behind-the-scenes shot showing the Collector once again in the police uniform, putting the mask on. I really enjoy that shot as well. Yeah, it definitely looks like this movie was supposed to be taking place in a police station for most of the film. Kind of like how the first one was in the house, the second one was in that abandoned hotel / big old warehouse. This one looks like it's a police station, which I'm cool with. Now let's take a look at this poster. Now this poster is a little bit funny to me. And yes, it says the official poster, it's not fan-made. It got a nice little shot of the back of the Collector there in front of a house. You can see there's somebody in the top left window. There's looks like a little silhouette there. That's pretty cool, but I noticed something right away when this poster dropped. Let's take a look at the poster for the first Collector movie. Oh, look at that. He's in front of a house. He's putting the mask on. There's a silhouette in the top left window there. Okay, so let's take a look at the Collected again. Okay, yeah, it's the same poster. but with a red-orange tint over it now, which is fine. It's just a nice little poster, and yeah, the poster still got me excited. I just thought it was a little like, oh, they're literally using the first poster. Interesting. But all in all, these are nice pictures, and they definitely got me excited. So again, this news was completely shocking and confusing for me. And of course, the fan of me is upset because I do have a lot of excitement for this movie. But what really grinds my gears is that Patrick and Marcus have been ghosted with no explanation or closure whatsoever, and that's not fair to them. If you're not going forward with the film, I'm sure there is a good reason. But at least have the common courtesy to explain to them the why. They don't deserve this. They are both very nice people who have worked very hard and have the passion and put a lot of time and money into these movies. They have a vision they want to see carried through, and you already agreed to make the movie in the first place. They just deserve so much better than this. And the cast and crew deserve an explanation as well. If you don't want to tell us, the fans, fine, that's one thing, but don't ghost your cast and crew like that. But I am still holding out hope and having faith that somehow this film is able to get finished. I'm crossing my fingers for you guys, Patrick, Marcus, and everyone else involved. So how do you guys feel about this news? Were you as shocked as well? Did this clear some things up for you a bit? There's still a lot we don't know, and so much is left in the air, but as of right now, I still have some faith. Also, what do you guys think? Is The Collected officially dead, or are you like me and still holding out hope that somehow, some way, we still get to see it? And again, Patrick, Marcus, anybody else involved that happens to be watching this, I'm sorry this is happening to you, and just hang in there. I hope that somehow, some way, maybe, just maybe, this helps kickstart things to get the ball rolling again. So that's it for me, guys, and if I hear any other updates, I will be sure to inform you all and keep you guys updated as much as possible, and I hope that if you guys hear anything, you will update me as well. So guys, that's it for me. That's all I gotta say for today. Let me know all your thoughts on this whole thing in the comment section below. Hopefully this video was able to clear some things up for you. Again, there's still a lot I don't know that I'm unsure about. There's still a lot that's left up in the air. I don't know everything about what's going on now, but this is what I could find. I just kind of gathered it all up and tried to explain it as best as I could, and I hope that it helped you guys in some way. So that's it for me, and I will see you guys next time.